Hi, welcome everybody. Great to have all of you in this exciting panel around building movements with content creation for young people and children for a digital future. It's a really futuristic topic. All of you are creating content for children and young people. And I'm excited to have all of you. Kamal, who's joining us from Bandung in Indonesia, Amalia from Jakarta, Purvi from Pratham Story Viva in India, and Panchali from Avanti. So let's get started. Perhaps we can go around just introducing yourself and express how content is driving change in your work. Let's start with Kamal.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Sumi, and hello everyone. First of all, I want to say thank you very much for having me as a speaker in this roundtable session. I'm deeply honored to become a speaker and meet with all of you. So my name is Tabi Kemang, or you can call me Kemal. I'm from Jakarta, but I'm studying in Bandung, in Indonesia, and I'm 19 years old. Besides a business student in Institute of Technology Bandung, I'm also a CEO and founder of Academy Society, an education tech startup with a spirit to building the next level students, which is help high school students in Indonesia to reach their dream university by providing a monetization and creative motivational education content to enlighten the after school knowledge. So far, more than 200,000 students are taking the benefit of the program, and by providing free online tryout and high quality content, I believe that every student in Indonesia can succeed to get a dream university and can become an inspiring and high achiever person. Thank you.
Yeah, over to Purvi or yeah, and
Hi
Amelia.
everyone, so delighted to be part of this panel. I'm Purvi Shah. I'm the director with Story Viva Pratham Books. Pratham Books is a not for profit children's book publisher, and our mission is to see a book in every child's hand. Now, with a goal as audacious as a book in every child's hand, we realized that we needed to accelerate the creation and distribution of books. So our response was Story Weaver, which is a digital platform that provides open and free access to quality storybooks in multiple languages. And in 5 years, using and leveraging open licenses, technology, and creating collaborative frameworks, we've been able to scale the platform to 27,000 books in over 280 languages, impacting millions of children all over the world.
Wow. Yes, I'm always staggered by the numbers. Yes, and can you speak a little bit about the technology that you're actually using?
So, Sumi, it's a platform, it's a digital platform that has high quality storybooks from publishers in India and outside. And we've also created tech that allows users to translate these books or create their own books, because we've also created a large image repository of over 25,000 open licensed images. So they can create, translate, and all of this is packaged in a very simple design friendly, user friendly design that allows even the most users with less digital experience to actually navigate the platform and contribute to the cause of creating children's books in languages.
Great, great, very inspiring. Over to you, Panchali.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. It's a great pleasure, and I'm very excited to be on this panel along with Purvi, Amelia, and Kamal. So, my name is Panchali. I am the program head in Avanti, and I've been in Avanti for the past 6-7 years now. And I lead the system transformation work in Haryana. In my entire year at Avanti, I have been a teacher myself, teaching students maths and science, training young aspiring teachers, as well as leading the first peer-led classrooms in Avanti as a facilitator. Avanti basically works with grade 9 to 12 to teach maths and science to help students get to the best of the colleges through high stake exams, right? And typically, a high stake exam requires a really high investment financially in terms of coaching, preparation, and resources. we have been able to build a model through one of the key driving factors has been curriculum and peer instructional operating model through which we are able to provide students at a very low cost, in fact, no cost for the government school students to be able to prepare for these exams. Over the past few months and over our entire decade of our work, we are currently serving over 1 million students across central government systems like Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya and Haryana government school systems. Again, our initiative primarily revolves around curriculum, assessment, capacity building for teachers, and on-ground support. In this discussion, of course, I'll focus on the curriculum part, which again, like I said, is one of and has been always a key driver to reach to the remotest and to the farthest student who we might not be able to teach otherwise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks, Panchali. We'll definitely unpack that a little bit more.
Yeah.
And over to you, Amalia.
Hi, my name is Amalia. Right now I'm the framework change leader for Ashoka in Southeast Asia, but formally I was a program director at Indocs. And what I've done for the past 8 years is to support documentary filmmakers, create an ecosystem that is sustainable and make them thrive, and create impact with documentaries. Some of the things that we've done with Indocs is we connect Southeast Asia best documentary films with funding, with distribution, and also with strategic partners, because documentary films do not have formal distribution channels in Southeast Asia, basically. So it is, we've been trying to talk to the broadcasters and they just say, no, we don't want documentaries because they don't bring us advertisers. But actually, if documentary films are connected with organizations, with schools, and we create a campaign around their use to kind of activate discussion and actions, they can be actually very, very impactful and distributable. That's kind of my work at Indocs. But in Ashoka, I'm with Sumi, my partner in crime. We would really like to get your knowledge and wisdom in how to create the imagination of every young person, of every parent, every adult, that a world where everyone change maker is possible. Over to you, Sumi.
Thanks, Amel. Thanks for kicking us off. So I really notice in all our conversations, in all our descriptions, we've been talking about a community around a shared vision, and are mobilizing towards that change. And therefore then building a movement. Can you share one design principle around how are you building the community and what that looks like? And what exactly, how are you mobilizing people? Maybe starting with Purvi to kick us off on this time.
Thanks, Sumi. With Storyweaver, as you know, our goal was to create a model where all stakeholders in the ecosystem could participate towards a common goal of getting children to read. And we knew that if we had to create access for books to every child, we had to move away from trying to solve the problem ourselves to be able to distribute the ability to solve. And therefore, the design principle that really guided us every single time is how do we ensure that we transfer agency to content creators and educators. So I'll give you an example really quick. We work with an organization called Suchna in West Bengal that works with the Santhal and the Kora indigenous communities. And they really were for Santhali and Kora storybooks for the children that they worked with. When they came onto Storyweaver, the platform didn't decide for them which books were right for the children in those communities to read. We gave the choice to the organization to decide which books were right for the children that they work with, whether they were little children or older children. Similarly, when their translators came on the platform, and this is really interesting, right, Sumi? We didn't design the platform that all books had to be translated from only English to Santhali, because these translators weren't very fluent in English, but they were very fluent in Bengali. So the platform was designed in a way that could help translations or aid translations from any language to any language of the world. So to us, the fact that we made this whole process very inclusive and transferred the agency to all these various actors. And even, for example, we soon realized that they didn't have desktops and laptops for translation. So we launched a mobile translate feature. So all the decisions on the platform are taken with the lens of transferring agency for more collaboration. And this kind of radical shift, I think, in platform and design thinking in our experience has really helped build invested communities of practice.
Wow, absolutely. Truly, truly innovative. And I really like this idea of distributing the agency and mobilizing. I mean, the fact that every child now can get a language and get a book in their own language is hugely powerful. And really powerful in terms of platform thinking as well. So thank you for that. What about you, Panchali, with your community of teachers? Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll sort of expand on what our curriculum really is, and we are sort of a little different in our trajectory from where Pratham is, but actually converging towards a similar sort of a design principle. We've always been dealing with core curricula, maths and science concepts or chapters that are actually taught in schools and tested in exams, right? And in that, over the last 2 years, what we had done is we collaborated with government school teachers to create this robust and very exhaustive content for Hindi medium students for maths and science in grade 9 to 12. Uh, Especially during COVID, what we realized, and a few learnings from past 2 years and this year, is that there is not one style of video that we saw would work. Some students or teachers might prefer, like a tablet based, like a Khan Academy kind, or someone would prefer their own teachers teaching them on the board, or someone would prefer a very animated style videos. What we saw is that, and that's been our key learning, right? Like the students or the teachers, both the stakeholders, might not need one kind of content, and you can't supply them this walled community sort of content. Instead, what they need is, varied kind, and a platform very similar, what Purvi also mentioned, is a platform that can aggregate across content creators and help them reach the stakeholder. So that's something, one of our key learning that we have observed, or we have taken note of. And during, again, I'll just go back to COVID time, during these 6-7 months when schools were shut down, because we really saw like an surge in terms of activity from teachers especially, and the government, in how to sort of continue learning. And what struck us was the amount of content that was being created by local teachers, by the school teachers, by the neighborhood, anyone who could teach, so that they could just give that content to students who could continue their learning, right? And the other thing that we learned was the tools that were accessible. Of course, during this time, online learning was the only thing we could do. Like something like a YouTube that still works on a feature phone is a great platform, and everyone knows how to do it. It's become so accessible to upload your own content, make a channel, and distribute it. What we need right now, in fact, as an organization, what we're really working is creating a platform that could aggregate across all these content creation, and for a student to be able to supply the right kind of content, right? So the need of the hour right now for us really is reaching out to teachers, getting their best foot forward to teach a concept. And the number of concepts is really large, right? In science and maths, you have really abstract to something that you can really teach simply. So it's really, and the other thing that that's very key here is the level of the students in the government school system is varied as well, right? You have students who have fallen way behind than they should be, and there are these students who are probably really motivated and capable of scoring very high in a high stake exam. How do you really cater to all these kind of students? And the answer is not one organization or two organizations taking the entire onus of creating, but actually giving space for solutions to come from ground. And that's what we saw happening, and that's something we want to really support. So in the end, I would just say this: giving back the agency, and by creating a platform to the students and the teachers to be able to develop their own content that will help learn and teach, each other better. Because what is the other fascinating thing is language plays a very, very key role. We happen to have funds for the last 2 years to create content in Hindi. Otherwise, if we do a YouTube search, there's very little content in the local language for students to learn. And majority of our students learn their maths and science or any other subjects in the local language, right? So that's where I would sort of end this, is that there is the giving back the agency to the students as well as teachers to be able to create content and teach each other in a way that would be well understood by their peers as well as students. Yeah.
So great. I'm loving the theme that's coming up around agency and giving power back to teachers and young people. Because, for creating environments where young people feel powerful, teachers have to be feeling powerful too, and parents. So Kamal, over to you. You're a young person that's creating amazing content for other young people. How are you building a community? What's the design principle?
Okay, maybe I will tell to you about the backgrounds before we start the design and the principle. So getting a higher education is a normal path to pursue one career. It will be more difficult for someone who has no degree or doesn't have a school to find a stable job and improve the standard of life. But in Indonesia, the resources to achieve higher education are not accessible for everyone. Entering a public university or state university in Indonesia is known for difficulty and instant competition. From 1.5 million students who take the entrance exam, only 15 to 20% of students can accept. And the lessons from the high school are not enough to prepare the student for this exam. And there are many courses created to help high school students to prepare themselves for the university entrance exam, but the price of the course is usually very expensive. Students from a low socioeconomic background will not be able to afford this course. Meanwhile, the online free course in the internet are not helpful since they didn't have a good quality of question example. So the problem doesn't stop there. After entering the university, there are a lot of more struggle. Students are pressured to excel academically and also their non-academic activity. Sadly, support and guidance to help students are rarely provided, and students have to find their own way or get left behind. Based on the problem, and that's why I and my team create academies.id with an idea to build the next level student with a fun educational approach by providing a high quality education content at a cheap price, even free. Our community has a target to provide our premium content, and the system is free without no exception. And we want to help students, especially poor students and a student who live in a rural area like in Lombok, Kupang, Palu, Gorontalo, and many more by providing them with academic exclusive content, academic tryout, academic spiritual class to find a mentor, and we want to give all this package free for students. Our community dreams and purpose for 2019 is we want to make this community bigger until we get more than 200,000 students, and we want to create a many social event and activity to give a scholarship for preparation to enter state university with our spirit and high motivation to build the next level students, our team belief holds on to this core value, or we call it learn. So what is learn? So L is for long life learning. I believe with the long life learning mindset in the team, uh, my team can be more successful in solving problem and creating harmonious situation in a team. So the A is for entrepreneurial. It means that everyone in the team is an entrepreneur, a leader with an idea, and the whole purpose of academies is for the good of society. In A is for adaptives. It means that everyone is comfortable and happy in collaboration and work together with other teams because we can always learn from them and we cannot work alone to get our big dreams. And the last one is and is not very serious. We also have fun. So as a CEO, I want to design the work to be fun for the team members so they are happy and keep their well-being in balanced work situation. And the effect from planting this core value is collaborative problem solving, and the members can also create their own innovation. And the effect of this learn curve fairly in 1 year we can get a lot of achievement and we can collaborate with a big company to help students to realize their dreams. So our community strategy to achieve our goals is by collaborating with companies or NGO and campus organization. So last month we did a collaboration with Bayu, a digital telecommunication provider in Indonesia from Telkomsel, and Mamikos, the leading startup in Indonesia, to fund a rent house. And the purpose of this collaboration is we want to make sure that every student in the rural area, like Papua, like Gorontalo, like Malu, and many others, can get an access to our academic product. And that's why academies and Bayu and also with Mamikos, we give 10 gigabyte internet data for more than 1,000 students in Indonesia, especially in rural area, and give more than 3,000 package, premium tryout preparation, and virtual class for free. And now we have also joined a collaboration with LPTIE Polytechnic, a big private institution vocational in Indonesia. And our collaboration is we want to give a scholarship, tryout preparation, and virtual class to more than 180 students in Indonesia until July 2021. And we also have a program to give a special quota for students who live in rural area like in Lombok, Palu, Gorontalo, Aceh, and to Papua, besides providing a free online tryout and virtual class, but we also create an online special like a webinar by inviting a popular and inspiring person as speakers, and we also create academic future leader internship program. So it's a program for college students, so the college student can get a professional experience and uh, soft skill experience by joining the mentorship program from academies. And at the end, I want to give a little bit of conclusion about my design in to achieve my goals in academies. So I want to achieve a big goals. I believe that we cannot create it alone, and we need to collaborate with others to get a maximum result. And not only collaboration with the external, like a company or like an NGO, but we need to make sure that the foundation is part with strengths, and the foundation is your team, and you need to make your community as a place to learn and grow together. So that's for me. Go back to your Sami.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Kamal. Very, very inspiring as you reach out to more and more children. I really liked your Bayou story, which is a collaboration with a telecom operator to give data cards for really children with really remote backgrounds. You're mobilizing really, really fast and wide.
Thank you.
Back to you, Amel. So what do you think? I mean, there's some great content out there, but we in Ashoka believe very strongly around this greater human power and human quality in young people. Where do you see us going as a community?
Absolutely. I think what I've developed with Indocs is also a platform where we curate um, 30 documentaries a year. We were in a position to curate them because our great connections with film festivals around the world. We have a pitching forum for Southeast Asian documentary makers who want to reach international market. So we know decision makers, broadcaster, financiers from around the world who have content. And but all of this content, however great they are, they're not reaching Indonesian students. So we'd like to curate the content for this platform, and we equip it with teaching guides and discussion guides, so it can be played in schools and the teachers can use, if they want to, they can use some of the questions that we provide. We will also have teachers in the curation and platform creation team. And then we also connect them with actions that the students can take. And in creating the take action list, we will be collaborating with civil society organizations, social entrepreneurs, and therefore, of course, Ashoka Fellows will be a great treasure chest for this purpose. And with the same thinking, I think in Ashoka we need to build first the imagination of everybody, using stories, using things that we tell our children. Garvita today was saying that we need to redefine our storybooks, our Cinderella stories. I was, as a mother, I was really upset. I was really upset with a lot of the Disney stories because it seems like everybody needs to have some kind of superpower, superheroes, magic fairies, or fairy grandmother, in order for change to happen in their life. But we need to tell stories to children that change makers are everywhere. You guys are real people with real passion, and who can make things happen, who can make change happen in your community and your society. So you are worth more than superheroes. So we need to build together with you, with all the fellows, with all the change makers, to build this kind of imagination and enable them to take actions by, of course, all the fellows, you are at the forefront of creating change. You need the minds and the energy of young people like Kemal. We'd like to work with you to kind of activate actions as well from these young people who start to want to become change makers and create the movement together, basically. Over to you, Sumi.
Thanks, Amel. Yeah, thanks, Amel, for that beautiful vision. Because we really are really talking about a very different world as we look forward. I mean, a lot of innovation is happening now, but how do we prepare young people for the future? And I think that's where we would really like to figure this out together with you. But before I leave with that parting question, I just see Phil asking a question here in the chat. Agency can mean anything from having a choice, from given options, from having a choice to giving options to designing your own learning journey. Where does your own, each of your programs sit on this continuum? Maybe this is to Panchali and to Purvi and Kamal very quickly. We've got about 4 minutes, so perhaps you can throw that in.
I could take that. Yeah. So,
Yeah,
so
please.
for Avanti, basically, I think we aspire to sort of head towards where a student can design their own learning journey. Where if let's say today I want to sort of learn maths in a certain way, right, and giving them the right kind, or the content that would sort of accelerate their learning is what I would put that, right. So that's where we would place ourselves. We are not there yet, but that is something we would head towards, right. Yeah, so over to you, Purvi.
Thanks, Panchali. Very interesting question. So, just to set context with Storyweaver, the platform is more oriented towards teachers and organizations to curate content that would work better in their own contexts and their own journeys with the children. So, what we take care of is, again, that if we even have a curated program, we still make the entire adoption element very modular. The teacher can download any piece that they want, and they can start from the first book or the last book. We only give what we think is perhaps a better journey to follow on the platform, but the entire decision to how that can be adopted in the teacher's own local environment is really left to the teacher herself.
Yeah, yeah. I'm going to try and squeeze in one question because I'm crazy like that. There's a question here about awareness through local government. Does your activity get some kind of support from local government? Maybe in the context of urban development. I think Panchali, you can, and Kamal,
Yeah.
can I draw both of you in on this one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Very,
So
very briefly.
yes, very. So I'll keep it very brief. Our work is primarily through the government. It's entirely through the local government. We have collaborated with the state government to work with teachers and schools to create this entire content, as well as delivery and how to sort of execute in classroom. So right now, it's actually through the government. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's a very interesting question. I start building my academies, and until now, I cannot get a support from my government, from my local government, especially. So I created independently with my friend, and we collect the money from our tuition costs from the scholarship to create a social platform. And after we get bigger, and we collaborate with other companies and social organization. But we have applied and send the proposal to local governments, but there is no response from the local government. So I think it's more better that we can collaborate with a private organization or like NGO and companies. Go back to you, Sami.
Thanks, Kamal. With Amalia's invitation to us and all the work that you're doing, disrupting education, I mean, already, all three of you, I'm excited. I'm really excited about the potential in the next 10 years for the global South with over 300 million kids. We know business as usual, models as usual are not going to work. This conversation is just the start. We have to connect again to answer Amelia's question, I think. So please do keep in touch.